Hello, this is your friend, the Ineffable Ghost. So, today I'll be talking about An Abundance of Katherines book by John Green. So, I don't have the hard copy with me right now because I left it at home, but let's still talk about it. So, John Green's An Abundance of Katherines is about a 17-year-old child prodigy named Colin who just got dumped again. But here's the twist, all 19 of his ex girlfriends were named Catherine. Can you believe it? A person has dated 19 times and all of them were named Catherines. 19 Catherines, that's a lot for one person. But heartbroken and freshly graduated, Colin and his best friend, Hassan, and Hassan is a stereotypical character, I felt, decide to do what every book and movie has taught us, right? Every book and movie has taught us what? That just go on a road trip and your life will be sorted. Everything will be fine. You will find the solutions to your life and you will solve everything. But because if anything can fix an existential crisis, it's a road trip. So let's talk about the setting. So mainly the book is set in a small town of Gutshot, Tennessee. So this gives a very small town vibes. Everybody knows everybody. It's that kind of a book. So their journey takes them from Chicago to a tiny fictional town in Tennessee called Gutshot, which has every small town stereotype you can imagine. That is also very stereotypical. So John Green's book, I think, has a pattern where everything is some or the other kind of stereotype. So everyone knows each other, everyone works at the same place, and not much really happens in the town on a day-to-day basis. But fun fact, John Green based Cut Short on a real life small towns in Tennessee, inspired by places his grandmother lived. One of the best lines from the book that sums up Gutshot perfectly is that the population never goes up and never goes down because every time a woman gets pregnant, a man leaves town. This is, I think, a good line. And what is this town's biggest employer? Is a factory that makes tampon strings. Yes, that's where most of the people work, or I should say, all of the people in the Gutshot work in that factory. And it's run by one of our protagonists' mom, Lindsay. Lindsay is the girl Colin and Hassan meet and end up staying with when they go to their road trip. So, discussing about the characters, so while Gutshot is a quiet place, characters हमारे वैसे नहीं हैं. So Colin, he's obsessed with mattering. He wants to prove that his life is not insignificant because bachpan se he has been, made to believe that he's a prodigy or he's, born for some bigger thing. He will, bring revolution. So he just wants to prove that his life matters. He even tries to create a mathematical formula to predict the outcome of relationship. That's what he thinks is his eureka. That's what he thinks is his, ambition or the reason that he was brought on earth, because of course he does. But honestly, he can be self-absorbed and at times irritating. Now I could, while reading the book, understand why he got broken up 19 times by the girls named Catherine. And then the Hassan, who is considered as the comic relief of the book. Unlike Colin, he is all talk and no action. He just talks and he avoids doing anything meaningful, whether it's in school, relationships, or life in general. Then there's Lindsay, whose place they stay at. So Lindsay is also struggling with identity. She's constantly changing herself depending on who she's around because she wants to be liked. She wants to be one of the popular people and which makes her relatable but also kind of lost. Then also one of the protagonists is Lindsay's mom, because she is one of the few characters who actually seems to have her life together in the book. She runs the factory, helps people, and serves as a bit of grounding force in the story. But eventually we get to know that she also doesn't have her life together, because who does, right? Then coming to the deeper themes, I feel that the book explores some ideas in John Green's usual style, existentialism. The fear of being forgotten is what is Colin's problem. So Colin's obsession with mattering and the idea that not everything in life needs a grand purpose. Sometimes just existing and being there for in others is enough, is what we are being taught in the book. And that's what the book is all about. It's not about the road trip or the Catherines. It's about figuring out who you are when you are not trying so hard to be someone special. Because when you try to be someone special, you are always trying to be someone. You look up to someone and you want to be that person. But when you are not trying that hard to be special, when you are happy with your ordinary, that's when you figure out who you really are. So my final thoughts about this book is, it's not my favorite John Green book, but it's a fun read. It's a light read. It has humor, small town quirks, and an interesting take on relationships and identity. Also, if you ever had an existential crisis about whether or not you matter, the book will feel oddly relatable, because we all feel sometimes that why are we there? Why are we born? What's the point of all of this? So, if you are looking for a light-hearted yet introspective book with road trips, mathematical theories about love, and a whole lot of self-discovery, An Abundance of Katherines is worth a shot. But don't expect any actual answers to your big life questions, because, as this book reminds us, some things are meant to be figured out as you go. So, go ahead and buy a copy and read it.